Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about something that it's very annoying, honestly. Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world. That means Nigeria is a country that has more people living under poverty than any other country. It used to be India. And if you look at the fact that India is a population of over, I think India is now the most populous nation in the world. They have overtaken China, over a billion people, one point something billion people, and Nigeria is just like 220 plus million people. Yet we have more people living in poverty than India. And people are living in multi-dimensional poverty. When you're talking about poverty, you're talking about real poverty. People can't eat, people can't feed. As little as 3,000 naira, 2,000 naira, someone will lose a child or a loved one because they can't go to hospital. And if you look at it today, 2,000 naira is like about $2. Really. There are people who can't feed. People are going through so much hardship. Yet, we are the country that has the most highly paid politicians. You're talking about even legislators. I think we have one of the highest paid in the world. And one of the most heinous thing, it's so evil. It's something that it's so unethical that even if nobody is saying it to somebody, you think that the people who are actually participating in it, people who are benefiting with it, will be so. We look at how obscene it is and be so ashamed of that whole act and not take part in it. And I'm talking about the pension that some politicians collect. You have people who have been executive governors in their state, they collect pension, and most of these people, they don't go away. They go from being, when they leave being governors, they go to the National Assembly. Someone the other time did say that the National Assembly is almost like a retirement home for retired governors who actually get there, really don't contribute nothing to the growth of the nation. Most of them are just there to hold on to power in whatever ways that they can and whether collect the money that is being paid them. And so here there's a report on Sahara Reporters. There's this organization called SERAP. SERAP is the full meaning of SERAP is the Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project. And so they're going to court over this whole thing. And the heading here on Sahara Reporter says at least 14 former governors in Senate Tinubu's cabinet collect salaries and life pensions as ex-governors. While they are collecting these salaries and life pensions, they are also collecting whatever salaries they are getting either as senators or as members of cabinet, as ministers. So the suit, joining the suit as respondents are the following senators and ministers. We have Abdulaziz Yari, Aminu Tambuwal, Adamu Aliero, Adams Oshomole, Ibrahim Gedam, Serake Dixon, Ibrahim Dankwambo, Aliyu Wamako, Gbenga Daniel, and Dave Umahi. I didn't even know that Serake Dixon was even part of, maybe he's a senator or something. I didn't even know he was even part of any of this thing. So the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has filed this lawsuit against the Senate President Godswill Akpabio and 9 other former governors in the 10th Senate over their collection of both salaries and pensions as senators. Joining the suit as respondents are the following senators and ministers: Abdulaziz Eyari, Aminu Tambuwal, Adamu Aliero, Adams Oshomole, Ibrahim Gedam, Serake Dixon, Ibrahim Dankwambo, Aliyu Wamako, Gbenga Daniel, and Dave Umahi. In the suit numbered FHC slash ABJ slash CS forward slash 1360 slash 2023 filed last Friday at the Federal High Court in Abuja, SERAP is seeking an order of mandamus to direct and compel Mr. Akpabio, 9 other senators, and Mr. Umahi to stop collecting both salaries and pensions and to return any pensions collected to their respective state treasuries. You would think that this is something that individually they should think about how unethical it is for them to still be collecting pension, humongous pension from their states, and also be collecting salaries. And most times these are states country that there's so much poverty, states where people are struggling so much, people they don't even pay workers salaries, they don't pay teachers, their salaries, workers are being owed months. Most of these states, they are owing their workers months and months of salary, yet you pay a humongous amount of money to these people in the name of pension, and they are there also collecting money from the federal level. Serap is also seeking an order of mandamus to direct and compel Mr. Akpabio, 9 other senators, and Mr. Umahi to clarify and disclose if they have collected and or currently collecting both salaries and pensions as former governors, and an order of mandamus to direct and compel Mr. Akpabio, 9 other senators, and Mr. Umahi to disclose the details and amounts of the pensions so far received by them. In the suit, Serap argues that the seventh schedule to the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended requires the former governors to stop collecting both salaries and pensions and to return any pension collected. Unless the relief sought are granted, the former governors will continue to both enjoy life pension packages and collect salaries as serving public officers, and the travesty and private self-interest would continue, the organization also argued. It is a fundamental breach of their fiduciary duties for former governors to collect both salaries and pensions. The alleged collection by former governors of double emoluments is detrimental to the public interest, it further argues. According to Serap, collecting pension as former governors and salaries while serving as public officers is a flagrant violation of the letter and spirit of the Nigerian Constitution and the public interest. The suit filed on behalf of Sarah by its lawyers, Kolawole Oluwadare and Ms. Valentina Adegoke, read in part. The UN Convention Against Corruption requires public officials to discharge a public duty truthfully and faithfully. The UN Convention also implicitly prohibits large severance benefits for public officials. The Convention specifically in Article 8 requires public officers to promote integrity and responsibility in the management of public resources. Paragraph 2A of the Code of Conduct for Public Officers in the Fifth Schedule, Part 1 of the Nigerian Constitution provides in part, a public officer shall not receive or be paid the emolument of any public office at the same time as he receives or is paid the emolument of any other public office. That's, you can't be collecting money from one public office and also be collecting money from another public office. And what we have right now with all of this pension is that they are collecting that pension as ex-governors, and they are now also collecting salaries as either senators or ministers. Justice Oluremi Oguntoyibo, in a landmark judgment dated 26 November 2019, also indicated that double emoluments for former governors are unacceptable, unconstitutional, and illegal. It's also unethical. For crying out loud. Constitutional oath of office requires public officials, including former governors in the Senate and serving as ministers, to abstain from any improper acts, including collecting life pensions. A false oath lacks truth and justice. The oath statements require the oath takers to commit to uphold and defend the Constitution. According to reports, there are 14 former governors in the Senate and as ministers who may be collecting pensions, running into billions of naira from their state. The former governors include, Godswill Akpabio of Akwa Ibom, Adams Oshiomhole, Edo State, Adamu Aliero, Kebbi State, Dave Umahi, Ebonyi State, Aminu Tambuwa, Sokoto State, and Abubakar Sani Bello, Niger State. Others are Ibrahim Dankwabo, Gombe State, Danjuma Goje, Gombe State. Imagine Gombe State is paying two people, and then they are also at the federal level also collecting their extra. Abdulaziz Yari, Zamfara State, Gbenga Daniel, Ogun State, Aliyu Wamako, Sokoto State, Orji Kalu, Abia State, Ibrahim Gaidam, Yobe State, Saraki Dixon, Bayelsa State. Also, there are at least 7 former governors in President Bola Tinubu's, not my president, Bola Tinubu's cabinet who may be collecting both salaries and pension. The states currently implementing life pension for former governors reportedly include, honestly, that life pension for former governors should be cancelled. Honestly, there shouldn't be anything like that. Why you spend 8 years and then you're getting life pension? I mean, even the people, is it a civil service job or whatever? But anyway, the states currently implementing life pensions for former governors reportedly include Akwa Ibom, Abia, Edo, which is my state, Jigawa, Niger, Kebbi, Kano, my state of birth, Ogun, Sokoto, Jigawa, Cross River, Ebonyi, Enugu, Benue, Gombe, Yobe, Taraba, Kaduna, Plateau, Katsina, Rivers, and Delta. Honestly, this life pension needs to be scraped off. It doesn't have any business, especially in a country where we are dealing with so much problem. There are so many issues that people are dealing with. Under Akwa Ibom Life Pension Law as amended, a former governor is entitled to an annual pay of 20 million naira. 20. So it's more than 15 million naira that he receives every month. Meanwhile, people are there, people are suffering. People are going through so much. There's so much poverty. And yet, so since 1999 to date now, they've had how many former governors, and that's how they will all be paying them at the detriment of the people. Here, under Akwa Ibom Life Pension Law as amended, a former governor is entitled to an annual pay of 200 million, 2 official vehicles with chauffeurs, furniture allowance of 300% of basic salary, replaceable every 4 months. What are you doing every 4 months that they are giving you furniture allowance? Whose business is it? Whether if you don't have furniture, sit on the floor now. Yeah. An aide, a cook, and a lifetime security guard worth 5 million naira monthly and 2.5 million for deputies. There is also state-sponsored annual medical service of about 100 million naira for ex-governors and their spouses and 50 million naira for ex-deputy governors, 5-bedroom mansions in Abuja and Akwa Ibom. So that's why they will not fix health this thing. They have, and most of them also have the one that they can go abroad and get themselves treated. Meanwhile, the people that you served, you didn't give them the kind of hospitals that they are going to have the care that you get when you go abroad. Other benefits include 300% annual basic salary as severance gratuity, 300% of annual basic salary for car maintenance, 100% of annual basic salary for entertainment, and 100% of annual basic salary for utility. Ha, have mercy. You just look at Nigerian issue and you don't even know where to start from. The issues are so big. So plenty. Anyway, in Abia State, a former governor is entitled to 100% of the salary of the incumbent. Benefits for former governors includes an official car, a police orderly, 2 operatives of 2 policemen for the security of his house, and allowances for cooks, stewards, driver, and gardener. In Gombe State, there is 300 million executive pension benefits for the ex-governors. Ex-governor and deputy governor are also entitled to a 30-day paid travel expenses annually to any country of their choice alongside their wives. In a state where there's so much poverty, if you go and check now, Gombe State will be amongst the most on the poverty ranking. It will be at the lowest, the most. A former governor is also entitled to 2 utility cars, while his deputy is entitled to 1 car to be replaced periodically. Both the governor, deputy governor, and their wives that were never elected are entitled to paid medical treatment at home or abroad. Did they? So what about the people in their state? Can they also be paid to go abroad? In Sokoto State, former governors and deputy governors also received 200 million naira and 180 million naira respectively, being monetization for other entitlements which include domestic aid, accommodation vehicles, replaceable every 4 years. According to the 2013 Life Pension Law, The pension should be charged upon the consolidated revenue fund of the state. Former governors and their deputies are also entitled to other privileges such as free medical treatment anywhere for themselves, their spouses and biological children, and the payment of all their utilities. I remember when Governor Yari had to write a letter as ex-governor that he was not paid his pension and all of that. Meanwhile, this was someone who, when he was in office, his people were being killed anyhow by insecurity and a lot of the things happening. And even there was a time that there was outbreak of meningitis in the state, in Zamfara state, and he blamed the people that it was their sins that were causing these diseases. Meanwhile, he's here enjoying pension for work that he never did. Yeah. Then we have under the life pension law in Jigawa, former governors are entitled to the same salary as the incumbent, two vehicles, replaceable every 4 years, a six-bedroom apartment, furnished office, two personal assistants, and two drivers. In Edo State, former governors and their deputies are entitled to a house in any location of their choice. Yeah, oh shit. So they will not go and look for a house in New York City or pension for life at 100% of their last salary, three brand new cars after 5 years, drivers, domestic members of staff, medical bills for them and their immediate families, amongst many other benefits. Meanwhile, schools are lacking proper educational materials, teachers and everything in Edo State. There's a lot of people who are suffering there in Edo State. No good governance. You know, things are just roads are but things are just going things are falling apart and yet they are busy paying themselves. No date has been fixed for the hearing of the suit. I don't even know what to say. There are so many things that are just so wrong in Nigeria. You just wonder. I don't even know what to say honestly because it just when someone is talking, it's as if almost all the time you're just repeating yourself, you're just repeating yourself. But then these things have to be said, and I'm really glad Sarah, for always taking these things or always going to court, always fighting all of this injustice. It's just so we won't stop. Giving up will never be an option, no matter all the nonsense they do to frustrate. As they are doing it, we are coming up. We continue to make demands for the right thing to be done. Honestly, all of these life pensions need to be scrapped. You can't come and be giving yourself life pension because you came and you worked for 8 months. Where does that happen? Especially in a country where there is so much poverty that is being battled. These monies can be used, judiciously for people who are really deserving of the state money. But you have some people who just come in, grab power, stay, it's just about themselves, their selfish interests, and not about the people that they were supposed to serve. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.